Howdy and aloha. Welcome to Manata. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you stay and talk.
Howdy and aloha, everyone. It's James with Montauk. It's November 25th, 2024. And I'm trying to understand why they're getting rid of the dollar or certain dollar bills, or is something happening to our currency? Because as far as I know, cash is king. Why isn't cash still king? Cash has to always be king. And I know Donald J. Trump still is kind of learning the whole crypto thing, and I'm still kind of understanding some of it. Right? It's a ledger, stuff like this. But anyway, I'm concerned about CBDC. I just central bank digital currency is still in my head, and I'm just concerned that some central bank out there is going to make a move, and or methodically make a move, or chip away, and this could be the beginning of it. Maybe not. I'm going to look into it right now. So if we go here, U.S. dollars could be stronger. Honestly, it's been pretty crappy for a while, especially with Biden in office. And compared to the euro, it's gone down a little bit. Japan, it's a little higher. In certain areas, right? It's like New Zealand, it's gone up. The strength of the dollar. About the United States dollar. What the United States dollar is 1792. Okay, I don't want that. All right, so I saw this ad, and there was another one about Walmart. Goodbye to these bills. Target announces it will not accept these dollars starting in December. Right? And I'm like, what? To bolster the security of monetary system, the Bureau of Engraving, which is these people. No, these people. Is it these people? All right. No. The Bureau of Engraving. I just had it up. Where the frick did it go? That's weird. Oh, it's over here. Silly. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing. I didn't even know that existed. That's kind of interesting. And it's saying that in order for you to use these, let's go back to here. Right? In order to, you have to, the new design, okay. Okay, so if you can't use certain bills, okay, let's just kind of read it. Currently, the Federal Reserve issues dollar bills in 7 denominations. 1s, 2s, we haven't seen, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, seen a few of those. While 500s, 1,000s, and $10,000 bills, didn't even know that existed, honestly, are no longer produced. They remain in circulation. However, these high denomination notes can be rejected if they meet the mutilated criteria. Okay, so they're just going after the big bills here. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. Okay, good. Oh, man. But why? Why not have large bills? It just seems kind of silly. If it's currency, which is the tangible way that we do things, and okay, we're talking Target, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Costco, and others, won't be honoring these bills that are being produced, will they start to get rid of the $100 bill, the 50, the 20s? I mean, you got to ask yourself these questions. I mean, if they can't take the 500 or the 1,000, and I've seen a $1,000 bill. I've seen a few of those. I've seen it in Vegas. I'm not going to tell you. Well, I was making money back in the day. But anyway, and I've seen those bills. But the thing is you have to go, if you have a mutilated or old bill, whether it be any one of these, the ones all the way to 100, the 500, the $10,000 bill, you have to contact the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which is right here. And you have to have them take care. I mean, I have to go there, or I have to mail it. What the I don't get what the look. I don't like it. I don't like the sign of it. Cash has always been king, in my opinion. It's been the way that we keep our freedom. So if I have money in my house, whether I got quarters laying around or dollars or whatever every once in a while, that's my money. And if I'm not using it for any specific purpose, that's my right. I can let it sit there and collect fucking dust. But I know I have to be guaranteed that it still holds value. Tangible currency still must always hold value. And this is where I'm concerned. We got crypto on its way. I'm just really concerned about CBDC, or central bank digital currency. So I'm not really freaking out about it. I'm just saying, well, now that the 1,000 and the 500 and the 10,000 are going, what's next? I mean, the thing is it legal? I mean, is it legal for these companies, Walmart and everybody, to say, "Oh, we don't take them anymore"? Right? If I took a $500 bill into Walmart, I know Dollar Tree wouldn't have the fucking money to change for that. If I bought a pack of gum at Dollar Tree, they wouldn't have fucking $500 in their drawer. But if I went to Target or Walmart, they should, Costco for sure, should be able to exchange that money, or a $1,000 bill. If I wanted to buy a big screen or something that's $899, or they're not going to accept it, and I have a $1,000 bill. This is a little alarming to me, people. I just it's just slowly and surely it seems like they're chipping away. New designs in circulation. Alongside these new security measures, can you guys see that? Okay. The Federal Reserve plans to release updated designs for the 5, 10, 20, 50, $100 bill in coming years. The update 50 bill will debut in 2028. I think that's all going to change. I mean, whatever the bureaucracy has in store, honestly, whatever the bureaucracy has in store for us until Trump gets inaugurated, I think it's all going to go out the fucking door. I just think there's going to be so many drastic changes. I just hope and pray to God and Jesus and the universes and everything that we keep tangible currency as king, as the ultimate way of payment. No matter what you did, if you wrote a check, if you had a credit card, I back in the day it was, or just not still yet, or not too long ago, I don't have enough on my card, I've got cash. You know, oh, they must have took out something out of my circulating payment system or whatever with my bank, and they must have automatically withdrawn my insurance and maybe a couple other things, and I wasn't thinking. But I do have cash for the groceries. I do have cash for the tire parts of the radiator coolant or whatever I'm buying somewhere. In case the card doesn't work, cash is always king, and we have to make sure it stays that way. And so I'm a little concerned, and I don't know why the Bureau of Engraving and Printing is where you have to send this money if it's mutilated. Would you send mutilated and old money to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing? That's really weird. Let me see what these people do. Currency. Let's see what currency. Circulating currency. The BEP prints billions of dollars referred to as Federal Reserve notes. Yeah, we know that. They do a lot of that. Each year for delivery to the Federal Reserve, which is a fucking corporation, which we need to get rid of. Okay. There's this great little video. I'm going to find it. Am I live? I think I'm live on YouTube. Yeah, okay. The Bureau. Where's that Federal Reserve? Oh, I hate when this happens. I might be able to find this video, but it was very well done a while back, and how stupid the fucking Federal Reserve is. People expose the Federal Reserve. Oh, look, there I am. Interesting.
Forward TV. The world is thinking.
Thomas Sowell.
Lots of questioners want to know whether you share Congressman Ron Paul's skepticism of the Fed. And now I'm going to quote you. This isn't in Basic Economics, but a recent column. Quote, "For most of the history of this country, there was no Federal Reserve System." There you go, that dirty trick of bringing in history.
Yes.
There was no Federal Reserve System, which was where the Fed was established. Close quote. If you could, if we could make you dictator, would you abolish the Fed?
Yes.
You would.
Yes. I mean, for the reasons I just gave, the history. There's no, the Fed represented wonderful hopes, but we've had so many programs that represented wonderful hopes that ended in disaster. I don't doubt that someone who is sufficiently scholarly could come up with examples of where the Federal Reserve made things better. But the question is, overall, what was it supposed to do? It was supposed to do not only prevent bank failures, it was supposed to prevent huge changes in the money supply, in particular, great deflations.
Right.
The greatest deflation in American history occurred under the Federal Reserve System. There was a crisis in 1907. J.P. Morgan, the original J.P. Morgan, called the other bankers into a room, supposedly locked the doors, and said, "We got to do something, or we're going to all collapse." And they did something, and they didn't all collapse. But the progressives were shocked that one man could come in and take command of the situation, and especially someone who wasn't even in the government.
Right. So what would you do? You'd move us back to the gold standard, or you'd let banks issue their own currencies the way they did up through the Civil War? Say I could.
Well, they weren't doing any of those things as the time the Federal Reserve was created. We were on the gold standard, though. But whether we're on or off the gold standard, that's another whole set of arguments. There's no evidence that I can see that over this vast period of time that the Federal Reserve has existed, that things on the whole have been better. The great post-World War II inflation was fed by the Federal Reserve doing exactly what they're planning to do now, namely buying up the bonds issued by the Treasury.
But don't you have, I have to say, I wasn't expecting your answer to run in this direction, so I don't have questions, follow-up questions prepared, or I may actually have to think here in real time. But don't we have the example of that period from 83 through a couple of years ago, that 25 years of economic expansion? We had only 2 downturns. They were both very shallow and very brief. And what you had was Paul Volcker, whom Carter appointed, but Reagan gave the freedom actually to wring inflation out of the currency. He did that by the mid-'80s. The economy takes off. Alan Greenspan does a reasonably good job, and then at the end, there's too much money in but maybe 5 years of getting it wrong. So
what Volcker did was undo the harm that previous Federal Reserves had done,
including Arthur Burns.
Yeah, unfortunately, who was my teacher and one whom I much admired.
Right, right. So
it was created,
which was the gold standard.
Yeah.
Well, it may be the gold standard, but maybe not. But there's no evidence that these what would you replace it things always bother me. You know,
they do?
When someone removes the cancer, what do you replace it with?
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only reason why they went in and created the Federal Reserve was to save their own asses. That's the fucking bottom line. And the only reason why they're starting to get rid of it, be running into, and I hope that Trump will keep cash king. Now, if he starts to venture into the CBDC central bank world and digitize everything, we're fucked. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you say or what you do. If he starts going in that direction, we are literally fucked. That means one man, whether it's Trump or whoever, what fucking president or whoever runs the goddamn world, right? Whoever could at some point say, hey, you know what? If you start doing this and I don't like it, direct deposit. Or instead of me making payments for something on taxes or whatever, they're just going to take it out when they fucking damn well please. The problem that we need to be concerned about is control, right? And we have some people controlling shit that want to control shit already. I played in one of my last videos on Pam Bondi that's replacing Matt Gaetz. She, in that segment, and I wanted to bring it back up, but she was kind of in the gun control mindset. Now, remember, 2001, she was a Democrat, then she flipped to being a Republican. So she's been a Republican for a long time, for, a decade or so now. And the thing that I'm concerned about is her gun control thing and what she was doing with it. But it kind of made sense to me because if you do something heinous and bad with a gun, right, or a car, or a boat, or a knife, or whatever the fuck it is, it doesn't even have to be a gun. Should we give that back to you? Let me give you an example. And I thought her point was pretty valid, but somewhat unconstitutional, right? Valid but unconstitutional because you have to make sure. Let me explain. So you have a small town, and there's 100 people in that town, and one of the people in the town starts shooting a bunch of people. They fucking have a problem, domestic thing, who fucking knows, and they just pretty much lose it. And they shoot something, and then it happens again, and then it just starts to become a problem, and then we find out this person is mentally ill to a pretty severe degree, or they're on narcotics or drugs or opioids or whatever or fentanyl, fucking whatever. Do we give that gun back to that person? That's her point. And I'm going to say that community would probably say no. That community would probably say, you know what? You're not. Your guns are to protect you, right? And then on the other hand, and I get that point. And she wanted to keep the guns for 72 hours and let them find out if they want to give them back to the person that has their constitutional Second Amendment rights. I get it. But then you have the case of the Alaskan bulldozer. That's bulldozer. There it is. Killdozer. And Killdozer was back in. And the reason why I'm bringing that is that this all kind of makes sense. It's about control, right? And I'm really concerned about the control aspect of what these people are doing. So Killdozer legacy lives on 20 years after Bulldozer rampages a small town. Right? This guy fucking built this bulldozer. If you know the entire story, and I'm going to just see if I can, I know I can find this easily in here in YouTube. I'll just play it.
Born from the depths of human resentment, a man named Marvin Heemeyer transformed a Komatsu bulldozer into an unstoppable force of destruction. With vengeance coursing from its metal veins, the monstrous machine produced distance. Born from the...
So, yeah, that's how that happened, but now this kid, I saw this the other day.
One day we were searching the records for the Killdozer incident, and we found an image that was not circulating the internet with what should be this piece sitting right next to the Killdozer. If that's all correct, we have the only known piece of the Killdozer that's left.
That's actually crazy.
One day we were searching the records for the
He actually built the Killdozer, this kid right here. And the reason, now there's a dreadful movie, The True Story of Killdozer. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. I'm not going to play it. I've watched it. And they lied about this guy. Right.
This is the story of a reasonable man who was forced to do unreasonable things. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to the Lore Lodge. Shortly before article by a Tanya Bina at Sky High News, Thursday Club member Bruno Schroeder described Marv as the type of guy who would give you the shirt off his back. That same article cites another part owner of Lori Crane's snowmobile shop in Grand Lake, Alan Bender, as saying that Marv was very intuitive and that if he noticed you were having a bad day, he would find a way to cheer you up. And this positive opinion even extended to Grand Lake residents who didn't always agree with Marv. Former Grand Lake Mayor Gene Stover remarked that Heemeyer would have a smile on his face when he saw you, even if he didn't like you. During his time in Grand Lake, Marv was vocal in town politics, and on several occasions, he butted heads with the mayor on certain issues. But Stover told Sky High News that even though they butted heads on political issues, Heemeyer would still eat at his restaurant, the Lariat Saloon. And the Lariat Saloon is also where Heemeyer met his long-term girlfriend, Trisha McDonald. McDonald described Heemeyer as old school, a handshake's a handshake kind of guy, remarking that society doesn't allow that anymore. She went on to say, he was confident and I thought he was handsome and he was larger than life. I felt safe with him. He was wonderful to me. And it wasn't just Trisha McDonald who thought that Marv was a great guy. Glenn Traynor, who was undersheriff of Grand County.
So you get the point I'm trying to make is Bondi, what determines, I mean, you use your gun shooting stuff in your backyard or what happened, you know, and find out what the situation is. You just don't want the government to just come in and say, and mark you, let's just check the box. She's a fucking lunatic or she's a fucking lunatic, and they can't have guns anymore or any of their guns. Yeah, that's wrong. I don't agree with her. And I'm a little concerned about her. Trump was all for it too, which is kind of weird. But I think he's changed his mind. I think a lot of the people have changed their minds. Back to the story of currency, and I'll kind of make it quick, right? If you go here to DIYAmericans.org, go into the toolkit, scroll down. There's some stuff on. There's the Dr. David Martin dossier on Bill Gates, the Fauci dossier, they call it, which is pretty heavy. And then Fauci wanted to put the blame on a African American woman for creating the stuff. Scapegoat. There's a bunch of websites that are still, fighting the fight against the World Economic Forum. A bunch of YouTubes. And I think it's the issues. Hang on. And this was the plan to revolt in case Trump didn't start fucking waking up and seeing the light in regards to the World Economic Forum, which I think he has. At the wrong place. Hang on. Border security, very important. Here it is right here. And I think it's important for people to see this information and to understand this information. When what the fuck is this governor? Not Santos. The governor of Florida is Ron DeSantis. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Put out this little flyer. I kind of fixed it up a little bit. And it says the World Economic Forum, a.k.a. unelected big brothers, have a digital dollar. Biden bureaucrats are working to further weaponize the financial sector through a central bank digital currency. What is CBDC? Just another way of increasing surveillance and control of Americans. Bottom line. He put this out. Florida's bill prohibit the use of federal sanctioned CBDC as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code. Ban CBDCs issued by foreign government, reserves, and central banks, including China's digital yuan. Governor DeSantis is calling on the Florida-led 20-state coalition against ESG to combat the threat of a centralized global currency by adopting these protections in their states. Personal privacy. Your money is your personal privacy. That's what I'm getting to. Right? Economic, federal through government sanctions and surveillance. Community financial institutions like your bank, your local bank, your federal credit union. Right? Or you can just fucking go open a bank. Hey, I want to open a bank. It's going to be called Jim's Bank. I should fucking do that. Finance, tech, innovations, access to goods and services by limiting purchases. This is what CBDC threatens. And it also, like I said, threatens the fact that it's just your fucking money. Just like it's your property. Just like if you buy a car outright, okay? This is a good example. If you buy a vehicle outright and it's sitting in your house or your garage and it's not out on the driveway, I don't think you have to register it. I think there's that way. Hold on. I know California you do. Non-operational vehicle registration in Missouri. Let me just see if they have it in Missouri. In Missouri, you can register a non-operational vehicle if you submit a general affidavit requesting per registration fee. So you got to have that. It's kind of stupid. But the thing is it's your money. It's your car. Even it could be worth $500. It could be worth $500,000. But it's your money. It's yours, right? It's yours. So that's why we need to make sure the dollar is strong. That's why we need to make sure cash is king. I had a few occurrences with some people that were Trump supporters. Yeah, you don't have to buy tax. You don't have to get the monthly tax for it. You just have to. It just has to be registered, and that's a once a year thing, I believe. Yeah, so there were some people on the Trump team in True Social, and I put in cash is king, and then one of them said, but not the dollar. I go, what? And then they blocked me. I'm a little concerned. These crypto people just don't get it. And here's the bottom line, crypto people. Here's the bottom line, digital currency people. Here's the bottom line. Who controls the fucking internet? You, who, if it was sitting right here, you can't fucking touch it. You can't fucking touch it. That's mine. You're going to have to go through me to get that. And a few other things to get my $100,000. But if it's out in space, who controls the internet? Not you. Some government entity. Is it the Bureau of Engraving and Printing and Engraving? I can't believe that's fucking an actual thing. Yeah, we need to make sure cash is always king, and I'm going to make sure that I get an answer on that from some people that I know that have contact with Trump. Again, thank you guys for all watching. Snork, it's good to have you on here again. I really think Talos, we got to start, man. I just, my spider sense is tingling. You know me, and I'm telling you, I should have been a fucking stock trader because I've always gotten this shit pretty right. It's going to come back, and so is lard. It's going to come back because once people start to do their research, their due diligence, their chickadee checking themselves before they wreck themselves, questioning authority at its sources at every turn, and they realize that, wow, tallow is 1,000 times better than some vegetable seed oil stuff they used to use on machinist parts and engines and shit. Yeah, cash on the turkey and gravy. Okay, we're going to end with that. Anyway, I'll probably be out tonight. I'm off this entire week. I'm trying to get some extra work going. But you know what? If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I'm just saying you have to fight for cash being king. And I'm going to push that home, and I'm going to make a call tomorrow to Eric Schmidt and Josh Hawley, and I'm going to say, hey, man, you guys, whatever you do, cash has to be king. I don't care what backs it. If it's gold, if it's petroleum, if it's fucking, potatoes, I don't fucking care, but it has to be king. Right? Anyway, one of my students made enough Bitcoin to buy a car last week. Holy shit. Hey, if you know a quick way to make, if I could take $100, I'm just saying, I'm willing to risk $100 that I really don't have because I have to pay a lot of bills. Fuck. If you know anybody that knows how to make to invest $100 and I'm looking for ways to invest money right now. I really have to start doing that. Anyway, I want to say thank you all for being on here and listening. Aloha and mahalo. Bye-bye. Tomorrow night, let's talk about a few other things. I am going to try to get Cheryl on here. We're going to talk about Ilana and Clay Higgins got into it about MLK, that nobody can say MLK sayings anymore if you're white. If you're not black, you can't say MLK stuff. Even though MLK was all about the right to assemble and freedom of speech. Anyway, we're going to get into that. Hopefully she'll be here tomorrow night. We're going to get into a few other things. I'm going to ask a few other people to come on. I don't know if you know them, but we'll find out. Aloha. Thank you.